A surge of wild power unfolds as the wolf pack moves into the pursuit. They pressure their target through sustained movement and coordinated formation. The strength of wolves does not come from a single strike, but from continuous pressure. Other predators keep their distance in the presence of such discipline. What makes a wolf pack such a lasting presence in the natural world? The gray wolf is an apex predator, playing a key role in maintaining balance across the wilderness. Its strength does not come from size, but from the discipline of the pack. Howls allow wolves to stay connected, mark territory, and coordinate during hunts. Endurance enables them to travel across many miles of forest and mountain in search of new ground. Within the cycle of survival, the wolf stands as a symbol of patience and unity. In Yellowstone, a coyote weighing around 30 pounds inadvertently steps into a feeding area controlled by a gray wolf pack. Tension rises immediately as the wolves tighten their formation, block escape routes, and apply pressure from multiple directions. Under the force of the group, the smaller intruder quickly falls into a disadvantage. From a distance, other coyotes can only keep their space. To survive, they tend to harass lone wolves rather than challenge an entire pack. The grizzly bear is often regarded as the dominant force of North American forests. Weighing around 800 pounds, it overmatches many rivals through size and resilience. Even so, that presence is often tested by wolf packs, especially around large food sources. When a grizzly approaches a food source already guarded by wolves, a surrounding formation forms almost instantly. A few wolves take the lead with sharp vocal signals to distract, creating openings for others to rotate in and apply pressure from behind. Through a pattern of advance and retreat, they test the patience of the much larger animal. However, to avoid unnecessary energy loss, the wolves eventually yield the prize to preserve their strength. The situation shifts if the grizzly arrives first and uses its mass to secure the food. Despite pressure from the encircling wolves, it remains focused on feeding. Once satisfied, the bear moves away at a steady pace, allowing the wolves to return and make use of what remains in an orderly manner. This quiet balance eases the tension, bringing the encounter to a calm close. The Arctic is home to one of the most remarkable natural events on the planet, the great migration of tens of thousands of caribou. To survive the extreme cold, they gather into massive herds and travel more than 2,000 miles each year in search of new grazing grounds. This movement creates a vast survival landscape where gray wolf packs wait patiently for the right moment. Over such long distances, the herd cannot protect every member. Young, older, or exhausted individuals are more likely to drift away from the main flow. For wolves, this is not chance, but a signal interpreted through experience, sharp senses, and coordinated teamwork. When facing a moving mass of this scale, wolves do not rush in without purpose. They study the herd's speed and the small gaps that appear with each shift in direction. As caribou cross deep snow valleys or icy ground, their speed of nearly 50 miles per hour becomes harder to maintain. At this point, the terrain becomes an advantage. The wolves increase pressure, divide their approach, and guide a target away from the main formation. When the northern valley grows quiet again, the role of wolves continues within the ecosystem. By often focusing on weaker individuals, they sustain their energy while helping keep the caribou population balanced and reducing pressure on tundra vegetation. Across the frozen plains of North America, the American bison stands like a living fortress of winter. An adult male can weigh around 2,000 pounds and stand close to 6 feet at the shoulder. Even so, its endurance is tested when a gray wolf pack quietly follows over a distance of more than 3 miles. As the bison herd moves into open ground, the wolves begin to accelerate and form a surrounding pattern. They do not charge directly into a wall of horns that can reach about 12 inches, but instead probe reactions through short advances and repeated barking signals. This steady persistence gradually disrupts the herd's rhythm. In a brief moment of disorder, a calf becomes separated from the protective formation. The wolves quickly close their ranks, limiting escape routes through coordinated pressure. At this stage, attempts by adult bison to push forward from behind can become less effective, unintentionally creating a decisive opening for the wolves to take control of the hunt. The prolonged contest comes to a close in the quiet of the wild plain. At this harsh boundary, there is no room for wasted energy. Each hunt becomes part of the natural flow of energy, sustaining life and allowing the wilderness to continue through each passing winter. In the harsh depths of winter, a snowshoe hare is rarely enough to fill the stomach of an entire gray wolf pack. Yet this small source of energy becomes a vital lifeline, allowing one individual to endure and continue guiding the group through the storm. The hare is not an easy target. With speeds of around 40 miles per hour and the ability to change direction suddenly, it turns the snow into a white maze. In the first encounter, a lone wolf makes a mistake by relying on direct pursuit. At a sharp turn, momentum carries it off balance, causing it to lose the trail in dense cover and take in a cold lesson. That lesson quickly reshapes the wolf's approach in the next attempt. With adaptive precision, the predator no longer follows blindly from behind. Instead, it calculates a curved path, cutting across deep snow at a predicted point of interception. In nature, success does not belong to the fastest, but to those who learn and adjust after each setback. This adaptability continues to show on steep, snow-covered cliffs, where mountain sheep rely on rugged terrain for safety. Encounters in such places are rare, but not impossible. When an opening appears, strategic instinct allows the wolf to complete the hunt with remarkable precision. The elk represents strength and endurance across cold valleys. An adult can weigh around 700 pounds, with long strides, strong lungs, and the ability to move through steep terrain and deep snow for hours. Its multi-point antlers are not only a sign of the breeding season, but also a natural barrier that keeps predators at a distance. For the gray wolf, elk provide a substantial source of energy, but they are not easy to approach. Rather than relying on direct confrontation, wolves use a strategy built on time and sustained pressure. They follow patiently, focusing attention on individuals that begin to fall behind. When the target moves into cold water to gain a defensive advantage, the wolves maintain their formation and allow the terrain and low temperatures to gradually slow each movement. Nature often presents unexpected situations. When an elk is pressured by a large bison herd, it can lose rhythm and drift away from a secure position. The wolves do not rush in, but remain at a distance, reading the disturbance and waiting for the right moment to act. In Yellowstone, elk are a key winter food source for wolves, yet success rates rarely exceed 20%. Each hunt becomes a test of timing, terrain, and the ability to recognize the exact moment of weakness. Harsh winter conditions make food increasingly scarce, pushing wolf packs into intense territorial competition. When a lone gray wolf crosses an invisible boundary in search of survival, it immediately enters an area controlled by residents that have held this ground through many winters. Against the white snow, more than 10 local wolves quickly assemble. They move in from behind, tighten their formation, and gradually limit every path of retreat. There is no chaos, only a steady rise in coordinated pressure that forces the intruder to reveal hesitation. Short advances, warning growls, and a controlled encirclement eventually compel the outsider to withdraw before the discipline of the group. For wolves, territory is more than space to pass through. It is a source of food, a place to raise young, and a zone of safety for the entire pack. Their survival depends not only on strength, but on coordination, patience, and the ability to hold their boundaries through each passing winter. The lion charges forward with the power of the savanna's top predator. But one mistake in a single moment changes the direction of the hunt completely. The prey does not run. It immediately fights back with fierce survival instinct. From the dominant force, the lion is pushed back in the middle of the tense confrontation. When the king of the savanna loses control, what will happen in the very next second? Along the banks of Africa's rivers, silence never means safety. A single unusual ripple is enough to put the entire shoreline on alert. The hippopotamus appears like a living boulder, weighing around 4,000 pounds, a presence powerful enough to make even apex predators think twice. The tension quickly turns into conflict when a lion boldly swims across the river toward the grasslands. A territorial boundary has been crossed, and the hippo has no intention of yielding. It opens its enormous mouth, releases a powerful warning display, and surges forward, sending water exploding across the surface. Any sense of safe distance disappears in an instant. With a bite force of about 1,800 pounds per square inch, the river giant forces the intruder to turn back and leave the danger zone. But the most dramatic moment comes in a different encounter on land, when a pride of lions attempts to block a hippo's return route after feeding. Even without the advantage of deep water, the hippo refuses to back down. It pivots, drives forward with the full force of its massive body, and breaks through the pressure around it. Its determination transforms into raw, instinctive resolve. Real encounters have shown that getting too close, even for a moment, can leave a lion facing the overwhelming power of an angered giant. In the dry, semi-desert regions of Africa, the oryx survives not only through speed, but also through the courage to stand its ground. Weighing around 450 pounds, it carries horns nearly 40 inches long, straight and sharp like two natural spears. They are not weapons for display, but a survival shield when the animal is pushed to its limit. Even pack-hunting predators must be cautious around this hoofed defender. For a lion, the oryx is difficult prey to overpower. When the safe distance is broken, the oryx immediately turns to face the predator. It lowers its head, points its horns forward, and turns its body into a defensive wall. The tension rises. The lion charges in, but a perfectly timed head thrust from the oryx causes the attack to stall. The predator is forced to ease its pressure and loses its advantage. Here, the oryx shows that survival is not only about running away. Sometimes staying calm, holding position, and reacting at the right moment is the way to protect the chance to live. For the lion, the ruler of the African grasslands, fear is often a distant concept. With the instincts of an apex predator, it dominates many animals across the savanna. Yet at the water's edge, that confidence gives way to caution. Like the hippopotamus, the Nile crocodile is closely tied to the water, but it also turns the river into an environment perfectly suited for ambush. A confrontation begins when a male lion misjudges the situation and enters deep water while pursuing prey on the opposite bank. In the murky current, it loses the footing, speed, and agility it normally relies on. From beneath the surface, the crocodile moves in silently. With an estimated bite force of around 3,700 pounds per square inch, the river predator quickly gains the advantage. A single mistake is enough to turn the lion's hunt into a difficult situation. In another encounter, a crocodile comes ashore to rest and warm itself in the sun. A lion may approach to investigate, but that confidence rarely lasts. The moment the crocodile turns, adopts a defensive posture, and points its powerful jaws forward, maintaining distance becomes the wiser choice. The danger becomes even greater when an entire pride crosses a river. Young, slower, or less experienced lions can easily drift into risky positions. The crocodile takes advantage of the confusion, applying pressure from beneath the water. Before the adult lions can fully react, the situation is often enough to make the entire pride more cautious. In nature, strength matters only when it is used in the right place. Even the lion must recognize that at the water's edge, it is no longer the one in control. In the wild, spotted hyenas and lions are lifelong rivals across the African grasslands. They share the same ecosystem, hunt many of the same prey species, and often compete over the results of a hunt. An adult lion weighs around 420 pounds, far heavier than a spotted hyena at about 140 pounds. But when numbers come into play, the balance is no longer decided by muscle alone. When one or two lionesses separate from the pride to hunt, hyenas quickly recognize the opportunity. With superior numbers, they surround from multiple directions and rapidly shift the balance of the encounter. The hyenas call repeatedly, creating psychological pressure while also drawing more clan members into the scene. Whenever the lion turns to defend one side, those behind it move closer toward weaker angles. With a bite force of about 1,100 pounds per square inch, hyenas can pressure a lion into leaving the prey behind or retreating. Even so, a fully grown male lion remains the greatest threat to hyenas. One sudden charge can force the entire group to spread out. But if the opponent is a young male, an old lion, a weakened lion, or one that has become isolated, hyenas may shift into a wearing down strategy. They make false approaches, pull back, then return from the different directions, forcing the opponent to react again and again. The encounter can sometimes last for hours, and when hyena numbers are overwhelming, the balance of power on the savanna can clearly shift. Across the African savanna, African wild dogs may not have the massive size of lions, but they are among the most persistent and coordinated predators in the wild. They live in constant competition with big cats, as both pursue the same herds of hoofed animals and frequently compete for food resources. During one chase, a pack of wild dogs works together to separate a young buffalo from the protection of the herd. Just as the prey becomes isolated, a lioness suddenly appears and moves in to claim the advantage. But the wild dogs do not disappear like many smaller predators would. They pull back briefly, give up the prey for the moment, then quickly return to harass and maintain pressure. At another time, when a lone lioness is spotted in an unfavorable position, the pack rapidly forms a circle of pressure. Capable of maintaining speeds close to 37 miles per hour over long distances, the wild dogs take turns cutting off escape routes and forcing the lioness to keep turning in defense. Whenever the lioness attempts a counterattack, the formation immediately spreads out and then closes in again from another direction. The pack's advantage becomes even more apparent near water sources. When many wild dogs gather around these areas, a lion must advance cautiously under pressure from multiple sides. In nature, power does not belong only to the strongest. It also belongs to those who know how to work together at the right moment. Even lions must respect these masters of coordinated hunting. In the minds of many people, the zebra is simply an easy target on the African savanna. But that is a major misconception. Behind those black and white stripes stands more than 700 pounds of muscle, powerful legs, and a survival instinct that is always ready to emerge. Across the open grasslands, a lion moves silently through the short grass toward a grazing herd of zebras. It lowers its body, closes the distance to just a few feet, and prepares for the decisive pounce. But at that exact moment, the zebra suddenly stops, pivots, and delivers a powerful kick with its hind legs. The force sends the lion backward and completely disrupts the attack. The hunting attempt falls apart, while the zebra quickly moves beyond danger. In another encounter, a solitary lion tries to isolate a young zebra at the edge of the herd. Sensing the threat, the dominant stallion does not follow the herd away. Instead, it turns and faces the predator. Charging forward at speeds exceeding 40 miles per hour, it creates enough pressure to force the lion away from its target. In that moment, the instinct to protect the herd changes the entire outcome of the confrontation. Although the lion remains a symbol of power on the savanna, every hunt carries risk. In nature's unforgiving cycle, The zebra proves that survival is not only about running away, but also about knowing when to stand and fight back. After each hunt, the wolf pack helps shape the order of the wild. They do not need to display raw power because their formation already reflects the instinct of the group. Other predators recognize that this territory leaves no room for carelessness. In nature, lasting dominance belongs to those who can coordinate and remain patient. If you would like to keep following more remarkable moments in the wild, please subscribe.